Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome in. I'm going to wait for some of you guys to come in here. We're going to do a client interview today. I'll check the sound on my end while we're waiting. It could be a little bit louder. Let me see. Welcome in, everyone. We have a treat for you guys. We're going to get to
Yay!
Yay! We get to hear another beautiful story from another client. And she's going to talk about how she was impregnated by aliens. We're going to get to all of that. But, we're going to talk about some things first leading up to her spiritual journey. And I've been on this journey with her. I met her roughly around a year ago. And she's been a client, a returning client. She took my quantum healing and psychic development course. And really the world has just truly, truly opened up to her. And I have some more beautiful ladies. I hope that they decide to share their stories too, because you guys have really, truly, really have transformed. And this is what I truly do this work for. Outside of the psychic investigations and the spiritual teaching, I literally just want to help as many people as I can. And I want to help the world heal. I want to help the world get to know themselves, their spiritual technology, turning on, the bliss body and, opening themselves up to the spirit realm, because the spirit realm is that imagination that they talk about that's fake, but no, that is actually attached to your spiritual body, and the spirit realm and the imagination is what's real. And what we think is real just may be this thing called the imagination. Welcome in, everyone. I see some of you lovely ladies in the chat that I have worked with before, some that I have not, but welcome in. I'm going to take care of a few things and we will go ahead and get started. But let me introduce and why Ernestina is talking. I will go ahead and handle all of that just so you guys can find some links down below. First and foremost, I do want to say this was definitely a meeting of the spirit minds. Me and Ernestina is dressed alike, so we'll get to that, right? But allow me allow me to properly introduce myself, everyone. My name is Tahira. Spiritual name is Mother of the Ages. I am a supernatural quantum healer. You heard that right. And I say supernatural simply because I have literally all of the clairs, and also I do pick up on frequencies and light codes. Everything around me is supernatural to the point where I have activated the source codes, I call it, inside of me, which could be like the dormant or the junk DNA. And it takes me on a scavenger hunt in life. And I literally live every day on a spiritual scavenger hunt for more source codes. And these are literally how I get messages to come back and share with you all on this channel, on this beautiful platform that we all have taken part in building. So I'm very, very gracious and thankful for that. And today we have a very special guest. But before I introduce her, I do want to say that I am going to be launching back my course, the Quantum Telepathic Healing and Psychic Development. I will be launching this on March 13th. I heard from Spirit. Spirit gave me the day. And so I move when the energy shifts. That's the cosmic time clock. And so I want to work with as many of you guys as possible. It's 6 weeks where you guys come in. We meet twice a week. We learn quantum healing mechanics, guys. This is deeper than some just learning how to be psychic. Every single human being is psychic. I am here to tell you, you are born with a spiritual technology. However, you need to know how to build and expand that, and for it to be useful so that you can use it for yourself, for your friends, and for your family. So this 6 weeks, I will take you through a step-by-step playlist on literally, I'm calling it quantum mechanics. We're going to learn, over 20 different quantum healing modalities, where we start off just understanding what is energy within our biofield, within our auric field, within the space that we occupy within our body. We're going to get to work with energy right in the class. And where from the day one, you will have what I call Reiki hands. Everyone has it. It's just that you have to be able to connect the mental body with the physical body, creating that energetic, balance and vibration between the two bodies of consciousness. So we'll learn that in week 1. We will learn some chromotherapy as well. We will learn quantum, what do I want to say? Quantum healing anatomy. So that's quite, a long week. And guys, I have over 300 pages of workbook pages, and we're going to learn about the chakras. We're going to learn about when they're unbalanced, like literally. You can get dis-ease and pain in the body when they're unbalanced, and even when they're overbalanced, when it's in excess. So this is why the balancing out is really, really good. Then we go into the really cool weeks as we approach week 5 and 6, the Akashic Records, right? How to read the Akashic Records, the mediumship, the light codes, the mantras, right? Light language, all of these things we learn. So if you're interested in that, I will put some links down below. I'm going to start hosting like consultations for it. So it'll be a free consultation, and you can come in. I'll tell you more about it and see if it's right for you. I do have another program for the people who are still, healing. That's the Ascension program. So essentially you heal first in the Ascension program, right? 6 weeks one-on-one with me. And then you're ready to now expand this. And this is not just if you want to be a practitioner. This truly, everyone needs to turn on their spiritual technology, because literally Mama Earth has gotten, a heightened vibration. We must also vibe on the same rate, right? Vibratory rate. I'm getting this heart rate variability in between the heart of Mother Earth and us, children of humanity. We really need to be there and be able to hold that frequency to stay here on the earth plane. So this truly is a survival mechanism, it appears, that the angels are saying. So that's what we're going to do. So if you're interested in that, there will be links down below in a moment after this interview, or you can always just email me instructions for number 4 humanity@gmail.com, guys. And I do have the past life regression, a January special on that. So you want to take advantage of that. There will also be some links down below as well on that. There was a lot of announcements, guys. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just give Miss Ernestina a proper introduction, because I want to say this about you, Ernestina. Guys, yes. I'm a crier. I'm so sorry. I might cry. Ernestina, I really met her about a year ago, and we've had several sessions together, but one was the past life regression, and one of her ancestors came through. I think it was her maternal grandmother came through, and I could just tell how much you were connected to spirit, and also to really connected within your ancestral lineage as well. And so I really love that, because one of the things I really truly love to do in sessions is to connect you guys with your ancestors, and to heal any ancestral scarring or wounds, right? And so that was really a joy for me, because I got a chance to, because sometimes, if people aren't truly connected, sometimes I don't get to connect that line of some of the things that I do. Yeah. And so you allowed me just to feel this robust energy, and really to expand out me being able to work and talk to ancestors and heal. And so I'm not sure if you know that, but you did that for me. And so I just want to thank you very much. And she's been upbeat. This woman has the most sweetest voice, the most sweetest demeanor about herself. And it is truly just like, if you are in her presence, you will just smile. You literally just can't help but to smile, because she truly is just a God-given light. That's how I can describe her. And look, guys, the synchronicities are synchronizing. We are dressed alike today. We are holding the violet purple vibration. We're holding duality here together. You got, they're like squares. I think we're holding duality here within these tops that we have on. But Miss Ernestina, please go ahead and introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself. And then if you want to talk about how everything opened up when you took the quantum healing and psychic development course. Yes. And please welcome to the show, Miss Ernestina.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited for today. I've been wanting to share my story and experiences with so many people. Um, this is the greatest opportunity to share with the universe. Um, and so that everybody can connect. About myself, I kind of been living my life prior to running into Tahira's videos, a little bit lost, looking for guidance. I felt like I needed more to understand myself because I found myself very voided and just floating about, not really understanding why I'm here. But I knew I had a purpose, and I was just YouTubing, and Tahira came across, and I started following her, loving her, liking her. And then just when she offered ways to help yourself cleanse, that is when I opened up my Pandora box and I started to just develop. It was such a beautiful feeling. It was the warmest feeling I ever felt in my life. Um, it allowed me to understand that everything has a special time in your life. Um, Through that, it just happened pretty rapidly. Like I just started seeing natural things appear in my life. Birds were like my primary source of saying love. They love me. Hello, they're here. I would say for like months, I would see daily, mornings, afternoons, at least 20 to 25 to 30 birds daily, just giving me confirmation that, they're here for me and that there's more that exist. After the course of the quantum healing, that was it was at first I was a little stagnant because I didn't really get it, but as it went on, it started to uncover, um, I guess, tools that I do have and was taught how to use them. And I was so happy about that because now I can pretty much figure it out, for myself. Some things. However, all of the tools that Tahira, guides us through and shows us what we're capable of, um, I still just haven't really uh, had the opportunity to do them all. I've been journaling ever since Tahira started to say, you got to journal, journal, journal. And boy, journaling just, it's another part of healing yourself and giving you the outlet to let things just lay and be done with and not to have to worry about or repeat. That to me is wonderful. I've gotten I've gotten to the point where spirit will come through and, like write for me, like write something, draw a design, and have meaning to it. I'm still not mastered, but I still allow and will take in whatever spirit has for me to say or wants to say. Um, and naturally now I can close my eyes and I can start to see the vibrate, like it's almost like a static, and it comes together and it creates a vision of people. So I see those regularly now. They're communicating to me. I just realized that I could use my own voice for them so they can talk through me. So I'm practicing doing that so that I can can interpret them better. Because that's the one thing I haven't received. Like they'll talk to me, but it's like I can't get it. I don't know what they're saying or what the message is. My father passed away in February of 2022. So I always felt like I needed to connect with him. And he comes to me whenever he wants and he visits me. He lets me know he's here. And he has a way of, especially when I'm driving to work in my car, he'll come on and turn on my passenger light that the seatbelt isn't on. And I know it's my dad, and we talk. since then, it's just very, everything that happens to me now, it's becoming a more normal and natural for me. I'm accepting everything. About 6 months ago, I started having a lot of encounters with spaceships coming out, like where I could obviously see them. And I used to always say, I want to talk to aliens. I want to go in the spaceship. And I honestly really did. But I guess they heard me and they started to try to interact with me. There was a time when I was laying in my bed and it was nighttime, and I saw like eyes staring at me, and they thought that I couldn't see them, but I could see them. And I have a daughter who has been very instrumental in my process as well. She's like Tahira, and she tells me that they were just checking in on me. They wanted to communicate with me. And I said, okay, I'll be open. And so I opened and allowed them into my auric field. Um, since then, they continue to visit me. I would take pictures and send them to Tahira. And I would look at my pictures and you could see something kind of hovering down, or like almost like a little person or something, coming up and down from the spaceship. So I know that they exist. I'm not afraid. But then one night, I guess I may have agreed. I guess they wanted to. Tahira always said that they were trying to mate with mothers, that some aliens were here, and I couldn't remember who they were, but that they were here and they were trying to mate. And this was during that time when this happened to me. And they were looking for women, mostly like who didn't have husbands, so that
Yeah.
they wouldn't be intimidated,
I
and
remember that
that they were.
video. Yeah. It's a channel that I
Yes,
got. Yeah.
yeah. And so I heard her, but this is why I can relate what happened to me. I ended up becoming very tired. I didn't know why I was tired. I didn't feel normal and I didn't feel like myself. I felt like something was wrong with me. And it went on for weeks. And I would say about 2 months that it kind of went on. And I thought I need to go to the doctor because I didn't feel right. I've had of I'm 53 years old. I have already had like I don't have menstrual cycles anymore. Menopause. I've hit my menopause. Um, and so I spoke with my daughter and I told her she could heal me because something was wrong. I didn't know what was happening in my body. Could she cleanse me or, do an investigation to find out what is wrong? So she did. And she told me that I was pregnant. And I was shocked. I was upset, I was shocked, and I was very bothered by that. And she's like, Mom, you don't have to keep the child if you don't want it. You can tell them that you don't want it. And I'm like, why did they do this to me? She's like, well, you agreed to it. She said that she saw me up in the spaceship lying on the bed or their table, and that they were impregnating me. They wanted to have a species with me, and that I agreed. And I was like, how can I agree to it spiritually, but um, I just was upset because I wanted to have the opportunity humanly to say yes or no. So I never got
Hmm.
that opportunity and I felt violated. I was
Mm.
violated. And I maybe blew it out of proportion, but so it was already in me for like 2 months. And I was having like natural discharge, like I would if I were pregnant. I was floored. I was
Wow.
floored, and it took me some time after I communicated with them, and I told them that I didn't appreciate it, and if they can please remove the baby. and that they're not welcome to enter my body without my human consent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so about a day later, they reached out to my daughter and they wanted to communicate. So she allowed them. And they told her that they removed the child. And so after that, I started, a couple days later, I didn't have the discharge anymore. I started to feel a little bit slowly like myself again. And even after that experience, I still took a little time to heal from that trauma because to me, it was traumatizing. I was devastated. And since then, um, they kind of just backed off and they kind of just still kind of loke around my area. In the mornings, I'll see them. I will just say good morning, but I'm I don't want to interact or invite something that I'm not
Hmm.
ready for. So they still are around, and that was just overwhelming. And other life experiences, it's been,
Let's let's stop
yeah.
there, Ernestina. Let's unpack this because we have a mouthful, and I have questions about this. Okay, I
Okay.
have questions. Okay, so let's back up. So about 6 months ago, um, this experience happened to you.
Yeah.
Did you and your daughter is the one that said that they were trying to that they did impregnate you. You were obviously having the experiences. Were you not guarding yourself?
Yeah,
Were
I
you not
didn't guard
shielding?
myself.
You were not
Yeah.
grounding and shielding. Okay, okay, because that's what we did learn that in the class as well. Just want to say,
Hmm.
but I want to
Hmm.
validate you here within this interview. I just did a really quick automatic drawing right when you were talking, and there was something taken out here. This really draws me to maybe the sacral chakra.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a massive, I felt the energy here going out. And if you look, this almost looks like an S, like maybe spaceship. So I
Yeah.
just want to validate you that there was some activity there. I'll see if it's all the way gone, but
Yeah.
I have questions. So,
Mhm.
um, it's very interesting, guys, because I channel collective energy, and I think I'm not sure how long ago I was channeling that. I did a whole I don't know, hour and a half video about it. That there were beings here trying to see themselves with human women. I think when we think about that, we think about the Nephilim spirit, but I'm not sure if it was Nephilim or extraterrestrials. I'm not sure what I said in the video, but it's very interesting that I had channeled that. And they were targeting single mothers, which I thought were interesting. That was interesting.
Mhm.
But do you think that you were targeted by these beings, or do you feel that you were that you opened the door?
I feel that I probably did both. I opened the
Mm-hmm.
door and I was a target because of my energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because of your energy, because of your good energy, probably.
Yes, my
Yeah.
kindness and
Yeah. Yep. 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 Mm-hmm. I want to point something out because a lot of people come to me, and women in particularly, you won't believe how many women have been impregnated by aliens, and particularly grays. Um, it has been, let me say, it's probably, if I had to say, out of 100 people, it might be like eight. So what it's about 8%. It happens more than people know because the spirit world is happening now. I think that's the main thing with these spiritual experiences. The spirit world is not some far off place, it's happening within you. And if you don't know how to like protect yourself and learn these quantum healing mechanics, is what I call it, then you're kind of just almost like bait, you know what I mean, or like a
mhm.
roadkill, and the ones of us who do know how to guard ourselves, we have a little bit more protection. And I hope you are now protecting yourself. And I think you were curious. I think you wanted to have the experience but didn't know all of what would happen.
Yeah.
But but I will say that grays do this a lot because the grays, they will go, they're not real. They are created by the reptilians, and they're trying to come up in the ranks and become more of a solid species, so they are always running these experiments just to see how they can put themselves within the gene pool, much like how we have the reptilian brain has seeded itself within humanity's gene pool. The grays are actively trying to do that, and in order to do that they need to mate with humans, and it's more not like a sexual encounter, it's more of taking something like an essence from the egg or something. It's not a penetration thing. It's like they're taking something, they're mixing it with something of theirs, and then they are creating these hybrid children. So this is, I just wanted to give that sort of disclaimer. And so,
Mhm.
how are you feeling after after all the symptoms went away, the discharge and all of that? How have you been feeling?
Well, I feel like myself, but
Mm-hmm.
for a couple of, weeks, I was grateful that they removed the child. And then I also appreciated that there is another portion of me out there, and I thanked them because they did create something of a part of me. And I just say I thank them, and I just look at it with love and
Okay.
no longer angry about it. And I have a son that's partial alien and me.
Wow, that's an interesting way to look at it. I know if that would have happened to me, I would have I would have burned down the place. No, I would have not been okay with that. But it's very interesting. Like, so what I love about you is that your love frequency is, it transmutes things. And do
Yeah.
you feel that you were able to transmute this situation into love?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
beautiful. That's beautiful. It's very interesting. I just did another little automatic drawing, and I see all of the chakras. Just,
Yes.
that's very cool. I didn't mean to draw those.
Oh, wow.
They're all yeah, there's no like lines and stuff sticking out.
Yeah.
Some of them we need to do a little bit more balancing in the solar plex and in
Mhm.
the maybe the throat chakra.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But there's no like how it was before, when it was
Yeah.
like
Yes.
that,
Yes.
So just to
Mhm.
validate what happened and to validate the removal. So I wanted to validate you on that. And so let's go ahead and talk about some of the other spiritual experiences that you've had besides the getting impregnated by the aliens.
Yes. That was massive.
Yeah. What else happened to you?
So since you mentioned my throat chakra, since meeting you and opening up my spiritual self, I did notice that I was having like a lot of things in my throat, and I felt like one day I woke up and I sounded different.
Mm,
Since then, I've been this way. Like my voice has been very smooth and soft. And I knew that something changed in my voice box.
mm.
And things that came out of my mouth didn't sound like a lingering cry like I used to
Mm.
sound. Yes,
Really?
yes. So my voice has changed. It's mellow toned and it's soft. And
Beautiful.
so I told my daughter about it, but I said, "Don't I sound different to you?" She's like, "Well, yeah, you do kind of sound different." I said, "Well, doesn't it sound like my voice is soft and mellotone, not like high pitched anymore?" And she's like, "Yeah, even my mother noticed my voice and could
Wow.
feel the love and the sound that it echoed." Isn't
Mm-hmm.
that crazy?
And you know what's coming through for me now? It's your ancestors are the one that did that. So I think that experience
Oh,
you had, and I can't remember because I do. I've done hundreds of sessions. I can't remember exactly, but I do know that your maternal grandmother did come and in the past life regression, and it was quite beautiful, and she was actually bringing in some healing codes for you. And so I will
Um,
contribute this to your ancestors, right? And
okay.
what they're saying is the ability to not only find your voice, but to be the voice for the ones that are unheard is what I am hearing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you need it to have a stronger throat chakra. So, that's always going to be something that, you want to pay attention to the balancing out of that a little bit more. And I think that
Yeah.
you're really being called to actually use your voice is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing. And I think that's why we're here today, really, in the
Yes.
same, kind of top here. And
Yes.
that's very beautiful. So what else would you like to share with us?
Okay. And so a lot of things have happened to me, but there's one thing that has impacted me most recently, and I want to share with everybody because maybe you might know someone else who it's happened to, or if something like this happens to you. I don't yet know the real meaning of what I've encountered, but it happened on December the 22nd. I had been out with my daughter, I guess days prior to this. I guess I can call it what do I call it? It's not a stamp, but it's like I was a brand. I had a brand like you would a cow, you brand the cows. So I had a brand placed on me one day, and the only thing I can recall or try to give you some detail was that I was out shopping with my daughter, and from what my daughter stated, that they did this while I was in daylight, and I was just running errands shopping, and I knew what weekend it happened. And a couple days after, I was showering and I noticed a symbol. It kind of looked like this, or it looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
I got this symbol placed right on my shoulder. And actually, I don't have but very much left over, but like a little dark scar. This is what I have left from that symbol. So
Mm-hmm.
I was labeled, and it was really red. It kind of had a very light scab. It was a little bit tender, and I didn't know. I was like, I know that wasn't there, and I know that it meant something, and I know that something higher did this to me. And so I contacted my daughter that same or the following day, and I said, I told my daughter, somebody has put a stamp or labeled me. What's that mean? Is everything okay? She said that yes, there were some beings that came and they did it during the day when I was out shopping and she could see me shopping and nobody noticed. And so it doesn't mean anything bad. They're just marking you. They're marking you for something. She didn't know why, but because they wouldn't let her know why. She said it was for something that is a part of me, a calling. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, what it meant was if something should occur like Noah's Ark, that I was branded, that I was selected, and that I was one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
to identify me. And I
Yeah.
thought, oh, she's like, so if there's a disaster, mom, you're going to be all right. And I said, well, wonderful. And I asked them if I could know their name. And what she got was Quantica.
Oh,
Quantica. And she said that they were pretty high in power. They were very smooth in their essence. And she said that she felt like I have a bloodline relationship to them.
you do. I just drew them. I
Oh,
drew I drew
wow.
quantum. Oh my god, this is wild. It's coming from a this is like really, really native. I want to show this to you. This is a native man. Do you see the nose? The nose is here coming down. This is kind of like the
Yes.
mouth, almost like he has a mouth plate in, you know, how like
Yeah.
tribal ancestors. And then this is like some, maybe some codes coming out of the head. So if we were to block this off, this is an ancestor. This is a native ancestor. This is what I was getting for you.
Uh-huh.
And let me actually just add to that. Normally, I'm always, because I work with a lot of energies, a lot of entities. I will always err on no, on they're trying to do something to us. I'm always very
Yeah.
like pessimistic when it comes to outside energies because I just believe so much in sovereignty. But also, too, just as there are bad beings, there are also good beings, and there's our ancestors won't show up in a physical form. Our ancestors are as old as time. Let that sink in. Our ancestors are as old as the stars and the star systems, right? Because we
Right.
actually elevated and came here from other star systems. Me being
Mhm.
like the Star Council of Aluna and the Assyrian, and then I went into my soul, jumped into this 3D consciousness into ancient Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt and all of that. As of, some people come from Lyra and all of these, Palladian, all of these things. And so when we think about our ancestors, they are kind of extraterrestrial too,
Uh-huh.
because like we're only in human suit bodies, but truly your soul essence is outer of body, right? And
Yeah.
so when you first mention it to me, I sat with the feeling because, immediately I'm like, no, we need to cleanse you. That would be my normal reaction. But when you told me, I just checked with spirit. It was good. And I agree. Your daughter is fantastic, by the way, because your daughter has a lot of wisdom. I agree. And you know what I just cross-referenced, because I'm here checking just to validate
Yeah.
and make sure you're fine. Because guys, this is I might just call a supernatural podcast because this is really super. When I say I'm supernatural, and you guys that come to me are also supernatural, you wouldn't even have even vibrated to me if you did not hold supernatural codes and collective genes. I
Yeah.
open to a random book in the Cosmic Bible, and this is the Bible I
Mhm.
channeled with source, guys. There'll be links down below. The Great Expansion, Cosmic Bible for the Ages, but it's on Amazon. But nevertheless, it says on page 125, how will a chosen one know if they have been incubated, right? So in this book, we talk about source, like there's mother source and father source. We talk about father source taking us through an incubation period. And then we talk about there's another character in this book. I don't want to give the book away, but we talk about there's another character in the book who is on the side of the light, right? These are 5 aspects of source that I channeled. So you've been incubated based off of what I opened up to by Father Source. And the incubation is a period of isolation where you are protected because you need to get your upgrades for what is to come. And to get your upgrades, there's also another member of our cosmic royal family, is what I call it, that actually is the one that does the like slicing of genes and things like that. If you have the book, you understand who that is.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that the incubation is for your own protection because the world is changing so much. How will we safeguard ourselves if we do not have if we don't have help from the cosmos? This is why everyone was waiting for the rapture. This is why everyone is, they're really, really opening up to the external world, in
Mhm.
terms of like, upper realms of consciousness and extraterrestrials, because I think as a collective we understand that we can't just be this anymore. We're going to either have to have some outside help, from whatever it is that, some people seek it through God or source or, whatever it is. But when I tell you there is a splitting away of the old bodies, humanity
Mhm.
will receive new upgraded bodies. The question is, are you going to receive the new bodies from your own cosmic ancestors? Are you
Mhm.
going to receive their new bodies, which is the AGI, the AI, the transhumanism? Because it's not that they are creating these things, is that they are trying to create something that will counteract what it is that the path that humanity is already on is to receive an incubation where we receive upgrades and codes for our next 1,000 years of peace, which will be in a bliss body. And
Hmm.
then this is for our evolution. So I truly believe that this is kind of something that has happened to you. I wanted to confirm that for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yay.
You're
So that's
welcome.
very, very instrumental. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And do you have anything else to say about this experience?
Um, so what I needed to say is, um, I've been dwelling in it and loving it and awaiting what's to come and appreciating it every day. I was at work one day and it led me for the first time. I wasn't sure if I wanted people to know, but this day I had to let somebody know. I had a patient come to me. I work as a dental assistant, and this patient was a vet, and he was in his 70s. And he came to the appointment, and I was meeting him and greeting him. And he was very puzzled as to why he just started rambling out of the mouth. Like he would just kept talking about things that happened to him when he was a child. And he grew up during the time uh, of the depression, but not just the depression. He grew up when he was black and discrimination. And he was talking to me about how all of his experiences when he would be discriminated. And he was a retired government employee. He had worked very hard for what he had. Um, and he was just sharing with me a lot of information about his past life. And he stopped and he was like, wait a minute, who are you? He said, he's like, when's your birthday? And I said, well, it's in June. He's like, well, what is your sign? He's like, I don't know why I'm rambling out of the mouth to you about my past. I was like, oh, it's okay. You're fine. You can talk to me about the past. I understand. And so I told him that I was a Cancer. And he was like, just puzzled as to, he's like, I apologize for talking to you about my past and sharing all this bad information. I was like, no, maybe you just need to get it off your chest, and that's okay. I was like, I've been discriminated against also. I felt it. I've been through it. I understand. And I says, and I'm glad that you can get it off of your chest. He's like, well, I've never wanted to ever do that just to some random person I just met. And we kind of
Wow.
laughed about it. And then after that, I was led to show him my shoulder. Something told me, you need to show him. And I said, okay. So before he left, I was like, don't think that I'm weird, but I have something to show you. And he's like, okay. And I was like, once you see it, it's okay if you judge me. I'm just led to show you so that you know. And he's like, okay. So I showed him my shoulder where it was really red still. And I was like, I need to show you my shoulder. And if you see anybody or know anybody, then you know that I'm not just the only one. But this is what I have to show you. And I showed him my shoulder. And he was like, well, what is that? A spider bite? And I laughed and I said, no. I was like, I called it a stamp because I didn't know what to call it. And I was like, I was marked, I was labeled. He believed in the, past life and spirit. And I was like, if you believe in this past life and spirit, this came to me from someone high in the universe. And I was led to show you. I said, I've not been led to show anyone. Nobody knows but my family. And so if you see anybody, it's okay. because I have one too. And then when he
Wow.
left, yeah, when he left, he gave me a hug. We hugged each other, and I could feel that he was very fragile, and I felt like he was sick.
Mm.
And I just took it in, and I says, I hope to see you out there somewhere. And he's like, yeah, me too. And I asked my daughter about that later, and she said that he had to know that in case, like she said that she saw the Grand Reaper standing next to him,
Mm.
and that he's close to dying, maybe. And he was led to talk to me so that he could let go of some of his past
Trauma.
traumas.
Traumas. Yeah.
And that when he dies, that he can remember me, something peaceful and happy. So when that he transitions, that he'll remember me in his transition to the other life.
So
Isn't that
it's
amazing?
Ernestina, that is so beautiful. I'm here getting chills because my body, guys, is a channel. So I can feel that this is I can feel that this is good, you know? And to be honest with you, we don't realize like the mediumship, right? This is like mediumship is turning into a new style. It's not just the mediumship about passed away people, but the mediumship now that humanity, light workers are embodying, and maybe
Yeah,
to the point of the stamp, this could also be part of that, of why you were chosen to help people like dissolve that pain and trauma so
yeah,
that they can have their Passover. You know what I mean? And this is a form
yeah,
of mediumship, but this is the new form of mediumship where it's literally more just as a guide as well, like a mediumship guide. And you
yeah.
were able to provide that to him. And I just want to say this really quickly. I got a message 3 nights ago. I thought this was strange that collard greens, right? So, if you're Black American, we eat collard greens a lot, especially for
Yes,
holidays.
yes,
And now it's been part of, Southern cuisine. But collard greens came to me because, we're doing the juice fasting and the fasting, right? Vegan
yes,
fasting. Collard greens spoke to me and it says, I am holding the trauma, like the trauma from slavery and the trauma from the
yeah,
ancestors. And so really when people eat collard greens because of like the picking of the like the energy that,
yeah,
when the ancestors used to pick it, it was such of, the heat and the being distraught and the oppression that the collard greens guys actually have this negative energy. So I started to try to clear it, you know what I mean? So this is also a form of this new version of mediumship where it's like where we are sent to release to not just people in the physical, but also people in the spiritual, or even flowers or plants or wildlife just may, come into your auric field and want healing because we are moving into a collective, shift, and everything shifts into the new paradigm with us. And just thank you for being the beautiful light worker that you are, Ernestina, and offering that service to him. And also, too, while we're talking, there's energy shifting in your room, and it's not an energy that anyone can see. I don't see it with
right.
physical eyes. I just feel like I see it through my sensory of feeling that
Wow.
you are part of this chosen elect that I talk about, and how even myself, there's been a gentle nudge of just a slight movement to the right. It's just like you're just floating slowly, but it's like in micro movements.
Yeah,
So it's like we there is going to be a separation eventually, and this could take
yeah,
hundreds of years, or it could be 10 years. We don't know. But I can
yeah,
feel and I can say that there is a separating of the old earth, and the new earth literally is being birthed out of the shell of the old one. And as we feel that gentle nudge, this is us
yeah,
really truly not just going to a higher vibration in spirit, but actually our physicality, the rims around us, right, are also
yeah,
gently moving with the new earth. So it's a total birth out of not just mama new earth, your body new earth, but the new earth consciousness and spirit on the 5D spread. So I just wanted to add some context to what you were saying. And
Yeah.
if there's not anything else you want to share, I want you to leave, maybe some final regards to people, going back to the course, because I really truly feel that, you know, a lot of you guys, this is where a lot of, what do I say, activations happened.
Yeah.
And the space that was cultivated was just a space of healing, and for us to be seen in a space where we can be with like-minded people, and for us to
Yeah.
feel free in the energy field, not
Mhm.
just to learn these quantum mechanics, quantum healing modalities, but to also shed some of our traumas as well.
Yeah.
So just kind of a final thing about what your experience was, and highlights
Mhm.
in the course again.
Well, I give, everybody who is lost or needs guidance or understanding to their purpose, because we're all here for a purpose, no matter what, good or bad, and your struggles, no matter what walk of life you come from, you have a purpose, to give yourself that opportunity. It's an investment for yourself, for the future, and it reveals so much for you. The friendship that you develop, it's a very personal and safe place, and you really feel everything that is meant for you to feel and for you to go through in that period of time. I'm glad I did it. I share my experience with anyone and everyone, and every day I share my love, all day, every day. I journal. I'm never turning back. I'm this person now, and only to broaden and be better. And if you have a friend, a family member, let them know about Tahira and the quantum healing course that she offers and everything, because had I not found her, I would have still been trying to figure it out. um, my daughter who helps me, but I don't really lean on her too much. I try to figure it out for myself, or I send message to Tahira, because I know that I too will one day be able to tell myself about the things that I'm experiencing. So don't give up and don't feel sad. Come to a happy place where you will be safe and you will be happy and you will understand that you don't have to suffer anymore. You can turn it around by happiness and loving yourself. And that's all.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Very, very beautifully put, Ernestina. Guys, if you have any questions in the chat, go ahead and place them there. Any questions for Ernestina or myself, or just, past life regression, or the course, or anything. I do want to say, thank you so much just for being open and honest and sharing your experiences, because, um, and that's to your point. I want to say something, because you just kept saying be happy. I just got out of a beautiful client session, a lady that's in my ascension program, and I have a confirmation for her. She's and I'm gonna show it, because you just kept saying be happy, and look, this says be
Oh,
happy, and this came up in her session as well, as her true essence was just happy. This is who she truly is. So I hope you are watching and you know who you are. This is a confirmation that the ancestors really did a big one in the session today, and the healing definitely came through. So I just wanted to say that. And do you see how you are a medium, my friend? You know that, Ernestina? You're a medium. You just facilitated that, and you just brought, because her ancestors came in to heal her, you just really brought all of this together. And then I just had the notebook here, but I think you are a medium. I think you are a walking medium. I do.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Very, very welcome. And I'm going to enter the chat here, and we'll give people a few minutes. I'll let the chat catch up.
Okay.
And good morning, everyone. Hi, everyone. And we'll just wait a few seconds. And I know
Mhm.
that a lot of people may watch this a little bit later, and then you guys can put your own questions in the comments, and I will get back with you. And if it's anything for Ernestina, I will direct that and email that to her. And Amy says, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Ernestina.
You're welcome. Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so someone wants to know, when you were talking about the aliens, encounter, and someone said maybe it was a negative entity slash demon. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel that it was like that level of entity, or do you truly feel that it was aliens?
Yes, it was aliens, but they weren't harmful. And that's what my daughter said.
Okay.
They
All
weren't
right.
trying to harm me. They were just wanting an essence, a part of me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. And then someone says, I op- I am being group stalked for the last 5 years. Oh wow. Well, yeah, this happens more than you know, and there's prying eyes in the spirit. They call the monitor spirits, but the prying eyes, we can safeguard ourselves by practicing, really moving in silence. I'm really, truly,
Yeah.
truly, not telling people our plan, and you know in our story, and because human nature, people will naturally start to feel a ways about it, jealousy or envy or whatever it is, and they will energetically start to create these blockages, right? And so make
Yeah.
sure, guys, we are doing our regular spiritual cleaning. And if you do work with energy, or even if you don't every day, because we are in the spirit world is not out there. Everything is
Yeah.
happening all around us, right? Because
Mhm.
we're just swimming in a sea of consciousness, right? And that's interwoven together. And so you can shut down your channels before you go to bed, and you just do a quick sweep in the body, and you just really imagine. You can imagine a white light coming in, closing down the third eye, shutting that off. It's like turning the lights off, like balancing all of the chakras, closing down. The chakras are actually portal points, so closing all of those, making sure they're
Mhm.
safe and protected, in this white light. And then also to doing your sweep of the body in your energy field. Just picture like a spiritual brush, just sweeping it clean, right? And you can clear yourself like this, with
Mhm.
the Reiki hands, and you can dust it off. You can jump in a spiritual bath. You can purify your space, Florida water, some, burn some fragrances and myrrh oil, and all of these different things you can do. But you have to have a spiritual practice, a daily practice. It should not take more than 10 minutes. It really shouldn't. Just like, just your spiritual housekeeping that you do on yourself,
Mhm.
and then you have to, for the gang stalking, or group stalking that this person says they're going through, you have to, there is, you're tether connected on an energetic cord with them. So there's either an event, or either you guys are share the same DNA, or you have the same trauma. There's something in common that is leading you guys to a point. You need to, people say cut the cords. You need to dissolve them, and you have to detach. You can cut a cord, but are you still energetically connected in? It's the energy of detachment that we must follow. And for that, that opens us up to why you need to have these quantum healing tools, because it's a bit more work. When we truly dissolve and detach, we truly have elevated past it. We're not faking it, we're not just imagining it. We truly have done the work to elevate past that, therefore dissolving all those cords, because you're not even on that vibrational level anymore. So I just wanted to give that tip to you. And thank you so much, Ernestina, for being here. If anyone has any questions, I will redirect that to Ernestina via email when people
Mhm.
watch this broadcast a bit later. And once again, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And there is a discount link if you want to book the January special I have for the past life regression with quantum healing. And it's the most healing session, and it's very precious and special to me. I do a body scan under hypnosis, and any entities or energies get released. Sometimes people don't just have entities; sometimes they have, babies. I found babies attached, aborted babies, or babies that have passed away very early on. And so we never know what we're going to find, but we know it's going to be good. And we know that you're going to
Mhm.
heal. And so that resource is down below. And if you are interested in the course, which will be 6 weeks starting in March, my goal is March 13th. That's what Source said. You can go ahead and email me instructions number 4 humanity at gmail.com. And after the broadcast, I will also have a free consultation link for you to learn more about it and see if this is right for you. But that link is specifically only for the course. So you really, be, reciprocity, please. Please do not come and talk about the Charlie Kirk psychic investigation. Okay, it's truly for people interested in the course. But yeah, any last words besides be happy, Ernestina?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys that I healed my husband. He has been an alcoholic for the last 10 to 12 years. And I healed him by cleansing him like daily, twice a day for the last 5 months that he's been not drinking. And I can say that I had something to do with that. And also that I healed my hands. I was having a lot of pain in my hands, and I healed my hands from feeling any pain because I work with my hands a lot. And I was having finger pain and hand pain, and I healed myself from that too.
Beautiful. How did you do that self healing?
I just kind of called on and asked for help from my spirit guides and my ancestors to help heal me, the pain, to remove stagnant space in my body, my fingers, to remove the pain that I was feeling and no longer wanted to feel it. And within the next day, and ever since then, I've been pain free.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, you are
Mhm.
such a blessing. Thank you for blessing
Thank
us
you.
here today. You're welcome. And thank you everyone for watching. And I hope that, that you've learned something from this story and her journey. And anyone else that I've worked with, please do come in for an interview, because you guys, you guys email me all these stories, and I'm like, I wish I want to share it with the people. And thank you for everyone who you know who wants to share their client sessions, on the channel. That really does help other people as well. So I'm really, hoping that more of you guys will want to share your quantum healing journeys here as well, whether it's a client or whether if you've taken the course. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here, but we're
All
going to
right.
say I love you,
I
I
love
love you,
you.
I love you. And so it is, as
So
we
it is.
walk
Bye.
together in divine love.